What's going on, everybody? My name's Dan and welcome to my channel where you'll find new 7 Days to Die content 2 times a week. And in this video we're going to learn how to craft guns in 7 Days to Die Alpha 19. I've noticed in Alpha 19 that finding a decent gun, especially early on, is pretty hard, making crafting guns much more useful. So I'm going to be going into the requirements to craft each gun. Now I'll do this by class. They generally all work the same, but there is some variation. So to start off, I'll use the pistol as the example, but if we come up to the workbench and type in pistol, you'll see that it's level 1 and I can't craft it. It just brings me to the screen. It brings me to the perk screen and it brings me to the gunslinger perk. If I unlock level 1, I can now craft the pistol. And if I unlock level 4, that allows me to craft the magnum. And if I go back here and type in pistol again, you'll see that it's now level 2. Now with each level of gunslinger, this is going to go up 1 level, capping at level 5. This works pretty much the same for all the different weapons. And there's just one more thing I wanted to touch upon with the requirements. If I type in shotgun as another example, you'll see here that it's dictated by the boomstick perk. Now the machine gun class is dictated by the machine gunner perk, and the rifle class is dictated by the deadeye perk. But you'll also see right here it says if I find a double barrel shotgun schematic, I can craft this. Now this pretty much works for all the guns in the game, but there is 5 guns that you can craft only if you find the schematic, and those are the sniper rifle, the M60, the SMG, the Desert Vulture, and the automatic shotgun. I do need to mention as well, the M60 can only be crafted after you find Automatic Weapons Volume 7. Now that being said, moving on to the material requirements, I'm not going to get into the different amounts you'll need for each gun, but I will note that generally the entry-level gun of each class is the cheapest to make. If I use the machine gun class and the AK-47 as the example, you'll see here it's 4 machine gun parts, 10 forged iron, 2 duct tape, 10 scrap polymers, and 2 springs. As opposed to the M60 that we were just talking about, it is generally much more expensive. It's forged steel instead of the forged iron. It's 2 more machine gun parts. I think it's 1 more duct tape. I think it's the same amount of polymers and 2 more springs. So in this video, I'll briefly touch upon the scrap polymers, the springs, and the duct tape, but we'll really be focusing on the forged iron, the forged steel, and the gun parts. So we're going to start with polymers and springs, as these are both really easy to get. With polymers, you'll find them in medical related containers, and tool related containers, in trash cans, and other random containers. But I noticed pretty much anything that looks plastic, you'll also get scrap polymers from. Now I read something about using your wrench on the tires that it will yield more scrap polymers. I haven't found a difference, so right there I only got 1. See how much I get here. And right there I only got 1. So perfect. With the springs, you can find them in the empty car parts boxes, and you can find them in tool related boxes. But I've noticed if you wrench beds, they are very good for springs. See, look at that, I got 6 springs on them. In cars ultimately are a double tasking thing, because you also get scrap polymers off them. Let's see if I can get some. And it definitely took a minute, but I'm now starting to get scrap polymers. So I've already made a video on how to craft duct tape in mass, so I'm not going to go too in depth on how to craft duct tape, but I'll leave a link to that video in the description if you'd like to see it. Now that being said, to craft duct tape, it is 1 glue and 1 cloth fragment. And with glue and duct tape, they also will be in random containers, tool related containers, and auto part related containers. Next we move on to the gun parts. Now realistically, you're only going to find gun parts in things like gun racks, gun safes, gun bags, and shotgun messiah boxes. But you could also scrap guns into parts. So let's say you have 2 level 1 hunting rifles. These will scrap into 3 rifle parts each. And the same works for each class. The AK will scrap into 3 MG parts. Now I noticed the lower level guns scrap into 3 parts, and the higher level guns scrap into 4 parts. Moving on to forged iron and steel, this is where things start to get a little costly. Now as I'm sure you're aware, you can obviously mine iron and then smelt it in the forge. You need clay as well. Forged iron is 12 iron and 6 clay, and forged steel is 30 iron and 15 clay. While mining probably is the best way to collect forged iron and steel, if you're ever in a pinch, there is other ways to collect it. If you use your wrench on things like destroyed generator banks, you'll see I'll get forged iron. Battery banks, I'll get forged iron. Cement mixer, I got some forged iron right away. Destroyed chemistry station, I should get some forged iron. and the workbenches, I should get some forged iron. I'll also mention once in a while with the safes, once you break into them, they will give you a little bit of forged iron. And while all those things are great to collect forged iron from, none of them will really give you forged steel, and they won't always give you forged iron. But I have noticed the munition boxes pretty much always give you forged iron and forged steel. They'll at least give you a little bit of both. So we'll do another one. And see, the thing with these is I don't really know where there is a lot of these. So this probably isn't the best way to collect forged iron and steel. But with the vending machines, and these are pretty much in any store, POI, these will also always give you forged iron and steel. So I'm going to bust down 2 of them just to show you guys real quick. As you can see, I'm still getting forged iron and steel on top of other things. It's not very much. But actually, if I spec into, so I'll do that right now actually, salvage operations. So we'll spec even just 2 points into that. You'll see now I'm going to be getting it more often. I'm pretty much always from vending machines. You're always going to get some forged iron and some forged steel. And like I said, these are pretty much in any store POI. So I think that pretty much sums it up on how to craft guns in 7 Days to Die. If you get yourself out there and start collecting those resources, you'll have a dope arsenal in no time. Let me know if I missed anything in the comment section below. If you have any questions, hit me up on my socials. I left the link to all of them in the description below. And if you guys liked the video, please click that like button and consider subscribing for new 7 Days to Die content 2 times a week. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.